Welcome to Knights of the Apocalypse, a Rogue Tech Let's Play. After working with Word of Blake to train some rookies and successfully taking on a line holder, the Knights look to do a mission with the Lyran Commonwealth that pays a lot better and with their own team. Welcome back. So you'll remember from last time we have a few more repairs to do before we take on another mission. Particularly with the Venom, who has lost an arm, one of the medium pulse lasers. So we have a look at the task window. We've got 2 bays running. So if we sort of take 3 days total between the Vulcan and the Crab in the second bay, that'll leave us 4 days for the Venom, plus probably another couple of days to get the arm repaired and refit a weapon. So that means we've probably got 4 spare days at the moment in the second bay, and I might use that just to upgrade our Crab a little. So let's move the time forward until we're ready to do that.
I've got the financial report.
Just with the finances, we're burning about 400,000 a month, so not too much. We'll just leave it on normal. You can pay more to get the additional tech points, but considering how little impact they'll have, it's quite a bit of money, and we probably want to save a bit of cash for upgrading the vessel at the moment. So we'll just go ahead and do normal there. We could start fitting things like endo steel or a better cooling system, which would free up a lot of weight by getting rid of these heat sinks. But we've only got 6 days really, and adding armor at this stage with very low tech will take a long time, so we won't do that. But what we will do is fill out our specialist slots to help with our heat generation. So we'll get this heat bank plus and put that on there. We'll also grab ourselves this laser rifle, as the Crab has hands and can utilize that laser rifle. And then we might change out this small laser for this medium pulse laser Magna. So just give ourselves a little bit more punch. So now we're at the same heat, but we've got ourselves an extra pulse laser on here instead of the small laser, which is quite good. It'd be good to fit the other medium pulse laser, but we'll need that for the Venom. Just to balance out our weight there, we will need to though drop in our endo steel, and that gives us a spare ton. So the question is what to do with that spare ton. So we could add a bit of armor back, which is not a bad idea. The other option is we could drop on there this tag, which would give us some tag capability. Both of those are reasonable options. The thing is, this is the main firepower. You usually want to drop your tag on a lighter mech that is going to more harass. So what we might do is just invest the extra tonnage in armor, get at least ourselves up to 80 tons and 100 on the side torsos, which should help us. Now that'll take 7 days, but I think that's a worthwhile investment. So what I'll do now is just move forward and we'll repair the Venom and put the medium pulse laser on.
Job's done, Commander.
Those upgrades you asked for are online, Commander.
From an engineering point of view, we will continue down the recreation path just to increase our morale and tech as much as possible, and then it'll be continuing on to some of these power system and structural upgrades.
Roger that, Commander. I'll get the crew moving.
So if we have a look at the options around contracts, we could go in and grab another 500,000, but we're going to be a bit more aggressive and see if we can't accelerate our performance and moving forward. So we're going to have a go at Operation Noondog, which is an operation for the Lyran Commonwealth against some pirates escorting a convoy through the Badlands. Convoy missions you can do that are a little bit higher skull value because you do get the assistance of the convoy itself, but they are quite dangerous. So hopefully this risk will pay off. Now we could go one more tick of salvage to get us up to 5 selected pieces of salvage, but in this case I'm actually going to prioritise payment so that at the end of this mission I think we probably want to transfer systems and see if we can pick up some more lucrative contracts elsewhere. So we'll prioritise some money, and that'll give us a chance to do some bigger upgrades as well as navigate off to another system and use that time to really start upgrading some of our mechs. From a fit out point of view, Beef can take a rest now that everyone is back and available. So we will just fit out the squad and try and continue people using their typical mechs. So Apocalypse in his Venom, Ditch in the Vulcan, Zoom in the Crab, Ripley in the Spectre. So you'll see that they're starting to get some experience. We really want to get to that 5 experience, as that gives us a bonus with our accuracy. And then in the Harasser, slide rule is available. From a deployment point of view, you can see we can't go near the capture zone, but then from the capture zone we're actually going to move across to this pad, I guess north as we're facing at the moment, and the convoy will try and move around this way. So from a deployment point of view, we'll take the default deployment. I believe we could deploy over this side, but I'm not sure exactly where the enemy are going to spawn. There'll be a blocking force somewhere in here. So we might go for the default spawn location because we've got some high ground and some ability to do some different things from here. First thing that's important to do is just look at what the enemy lance composition is. So in this case we've got 1 fire starter and 3 locusts. If we look at them in a little more detail by right clicking, you'll see that the fire starter looks like it's high energy, so it's going to have probably a lot of flamers. The ballistic, I'd suggest, will be a machine gun. This locust has missiles and ballistics, so I would assume that is maybe a one-shot. This white ballistic, the other 2 ballistics will be machine guns, and then maybe a short-range missile launcher. It already has damage on one side on one torso. This one has 2 sets of short-range missiles and some sort of energy weapon, so maybe a flamer. And then this looks like the standard locust fit out, which is 2 medium lasers and 2 MGs. So if you look at this from an armor point of view, none of these are particularly heavily armored. All of them are quite thin, even at the front. So we can probably just front to back this composition. If you have a look at where we are, probably best to use this right side here, keep height, take out the fire starter first, and then if we get the opportunity we just sort of pick off the locusts as they come in. So we will attempt to do that and see how we go.
I'm walking here.
Taking the high ground, the knights lay into the fire starter.
Engaging with target.
Locking target. Affirmative.
The enemy fire starter takes evasive maneuvers with his jump jets. The locusts return in accurate fire.
Armor blow through.
The high ground continues to be beneficial, landing some further hits on the Locust OP.
Roger that.
With the situation quickly getting out of hand, the Firestarter retreats further into the mineral field. We're now in round 3, and you'll see I've now got the Lance quite nicely lined up here along the ridgeline. We've pushed the fire starter off. If he'd come towards us, he would have been killed. And there were just some really good opportune shots, so we've made quite a mess of this Locust. So we'll continue using this high ground around this side to probably finish off this Locust and get some good shots at the fire starter. As these other Locusts come into range, we'll deal with them.
Move order received.
The Knights continue to move along the ridgeline.
Locked and loaded. Here it comes.
Accurate fire knocks over the Locust OP. The 2 Locusts that remain upright give harassing fire, but it's relatively ineffective. The Locust V3 moves in close, but exposes itself to flanking fire from ditch and zoom. The fallen Locust is finished off by the harasser. Apocalypse wears a few hits in the venom, but then moves around and continues to pepper the V3. Accurate fire continues to come in off the ridgeline.
All weapons are go.
Firing.
Now, coming into round 5, we've taken out the Locust that was sitting at the top of the capture zone at the high level. We've done quite a bit of damage to the fire starter's right-hand side, so he hasn't really pushed forward to get into range because we've managed to retain this high ground along the ridge here. I've been opportunistic with this Locust who has moved in, and am going to finish him off now. So what we'll do now is finish him off, keep using the high ground to finish off the fire starter, and then we can deal with the Locust that's sitting back at long range. We'll just move around and get him. The fire starter, still not closing range, hiding in the mineral field, cops more hits from the ridgeline.
On your tail. Mech destroyed.
Apocalypse and Ripley now move down into the valley to try and take out the fire starter.
Here it comes. Hell yeah. Affirmative.
Destroying its left leg. After several attempts, the downed fire starter is finally destroyed. Another kill for Slide Rule.
I got him. Affirmative.
As you can see, using the high ground, we managed to knock a leg off the fire starter and then move in and finish him off. We finished off the other locust that was trying to go up against the crab and the Vulcan unsuccessfully. Fortunately, the locust PA has moved forward, so we should be able to finish him off with Ditch in the Vulcan and soon in the crab. And then we'll move forward and hit the capture zone. So once I've hit the capture zone and we've got some more enemies on the field to attack so that the convoy can get home, we will have a look at that.
I'm there.
Coming in from all angles, the final locust is surrounded.
Acknowledge. Here it comes.
With serious damage, he makes a break for it.
Firing on rear arc.
But Ripley finishes him off in the Spectre. In part 2, we'll see if Apocalypse and the Knights can get the convoy safely to their extraction point, despite the arrival of some additional pirate forces. That brings us to the end of another episode of The Knights of the Apocalypse, a Rogue Tech Let's Play. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time.